Insecurity is one of those words which you tend to hear talked about as if it's a condition that exclusively belongs to people with issues. But this perception says more about our collective ignorance of mental health than the actual prevalence of insecurity in society. Because when it comes to CBT, the first thing to realise is that actually everyone has some degree of insecurity. It all depends on how it surfaces and how well each of us manages it in our day-to-day lives. First of all, let's define insecurity, shall we? Insecurity is a rather nebulous concept, but fundamentally it is a feeling of uncertainty and of an inadequate level of control to deal with that uncertainty. When we feel insecure, we also feel vulnerable, and it is through an understandable desire to shield ourselves from this vulnerability that we develop unhelpful, anxious, and depressive thoughts. From the very primitive perspective of insecurity, anxious and depressive thoughts are ways to give ourselves some measure of control over that vulnerability and hopefully some feeling of relief. Everyone has insecurity because insecurity is part of what it means to be human. We all go through life with feelings of uncertainty, doubt, and worry about the things life throws at us. For some of us, we learn to deal with the uncertainty of life in healthy ways. For example, by understanding that certain things are beyond our control, and conversely trusting ourselves to handle those things which are within our control. For the rest of us, however, we form unhelpful habits which allow negative thoughts, anxiety and depression to steer our lives, all in an attempt to escape feelings of uncertainty and vulnerability. The problem is, though, such habits are always doomed to fail because they are not based on fact, self-trust, and a true perception of reality. Everyone is insecure about something in their lives, and will to some extent rely on unhelpful thought mechanisms for dealing with it. This could be anxiety about speaking in public, or perhaps negative thoughts about their appearance or self-worth. Thoughts which try to shield us from a sense of vulnerability, but in the end, just end up making us feel miserable and exhausted with life. Whether or not such insecure thoughts and feelings end up crippling you simply depends on how much you have dedicated your mental energy to insecurity at the expense of your self-trust. If you don't feed your insecurity very much, it can feel manageable, and it won't have any material impact on your life. If, however, you spend hours a day worrying about the same thing over and over again in your head, the unhelpful, insecure thoughts and feelings will have become the dominant habit in your mind, and this is precisely where CBT and self-coaching can make a real difference. So, overall, I hope this video helps to demystify insecurity so that it can be seen for what it really is. A reflection of the inherent uncertainty of the world we all live in, and something which we all grapple with in some form in our lives. Insecurity, though, need not dominate how we live, and through CBT, we can all choose a better life of thinking, and ultimately a more truthful and healthier way of feeling. All the best, guys.